The silent breakup. When a relationship ends before anyone says goodbye. Have you ever been in a relationship where technically you were still together? The pictures were still there. The messages still existed. You still called each other baby, but something felt different. The person who used to ask about your day stopped caring. The conversations became shorter. The love became routine. You were sleeping next to someone who felt emotionally miles away. And the hardest part? Nobody said, "I'm leaving." But deep down, you already knew something had changed. This is called the silent breakup, when a relationship ends emotionally before it ends officially. And sometimes the most painful breakups are the ones where nobody actually walks away. Relationships don't always end with a dramatic argument. Sometimes they end quietly. No cheating, no huge betrayal, no final goodbye, just two people slowly becoming strangers. One person starts withdrawing. The other starts noticing. But instead of confronting the distance, both people pretend everything is fine. Because admitting the relationship is changing means admitting something painful. The person you love may no longer be choosing you the same way. And psychologically, this is one of the hardest experiences because the brain struggles with uncertainty. A clear ending gives you something to process. But a silent breakup leaves you trapped between hope and reality. You keep asking, are we going through a rough patch? Are they stressed? Will things go back to how they were? Or am I holding on to something that already ended? Imagine a couple named Maya and Daniel. At the beginning, everything felt effortless. Daniel would send good morning messages before Maya even woke up. He remembered small things, her favorite snack, the stories she told him, the little details most people ignored. Maya felt seen. She felt chosen. But slowly, things changed. The good morning messages became occasional. The conversations became, "Did you eat? How was your day? Good night?" The relationship still existed, but the connection was disappearing. Maya noticed. She tried harder. She planned dates. She started more conversations. She asked if everything was okay. And every time Daniel said, "I'm fine," those two words became the most confusing answer, because his mouth said everything was okay, but his actions said something completely different. Eventually, Maya realized something painful. She wasn't fighting to save a relationship anymore. She was fighting to keep alive a version of the relationship that no longer existed. This happens because emotional connection is built through consistency. A person doesn't suddenly become distant overnight. Usually, emotional separation happens through small moments. Less effort, less curiosity, less affection, less vulnerability. Psychologists often talk about emotional disengagement, when someone begins mentally stepping away from a relationship before physically leaving. They may still be present, they may still reply, they may still sit beside you, but emotionally, they have already started creating distance. And that creates a painful situation where one person is grieving a loss that the other person hasn't even admitted. So why do people stay when they feel someone pulling away? Because humans don't just attach to people, we attach to memories. You're not only holding on to who they are today, you're holding on to who they used to be, the version of them that made you feel loved, the moments that made you believe this was your forever. And sometimes people stay because they think, if I love them enough, they will come back. But love cannot replace effort. You cannot build emotional intimacy alone. A relationship requires two people choosing each other repeatedly. So how do you know when a relationship may be experiencing a silent breakup? One sign is when communication becomes only about responsibilities. You stop sharing dreams. You stop telling each other random thoughts. You stop being excited to hear their voice. Another sign is emotional loneliness. And this one hurts because you can feel lonely while being with someone. You can be sitting next to someone and still feel completely unseen. Another sign is when conflict disappears. Many people think less arguing means a healthier relationship. But sometimes silence isn't peace. Sometimes silence is someone giving up. Because when someone stops trying to fix problems, it can mean they have emotionally checked out. But there is another side to this. Sometimes people don't leave because they don't care. Sometimes people withdraw because they are overwhelmed, afraid, or emotionally exhausted. Not every quiet season means the relationship is over. The difference is effort. Someone who still wants the relationship may struggle, but they will usually try. They will communicate. They will explain. They will make space for repair. A silent breakup happens when the distance grows and nobody is willing to cross it. The hardest goodbye is not always the one where someone packs their bags. Sometimes the hardest goodbye is watching someone slowly disappear while they are still standing right in front of you. Because your heart is waiting for a conversation, while their actions are already giving an answer. Sometimes closure doesn't come from the words someone says. Sometimes closure comes from accepting what their behavior has been showing you. A relationship is not only built on love, it is built on presence, on effort, on two people choosing each other even when things become difficult. So ask yourself, are you holding on to a relationship that is still alive? Or are you holding on to the memory of one that already ended?